This is Rhode Island women's basketball on the Rhody Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Pregame Show, presented by People's Credit Union. Rams women's basketball is brought to you by Rhode Island Medical Imaging, the official medical imaging company of URI Athletics. By Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. By Elite Physical Therapy and the Ivy Rehab Network. In pain, we can help. Rhode Island Student Loan Authority, preparing, planning, and paying for your education journey. Now let's go courtside. To get you ready for today's game, here's Zach Austin.
Well, it's not the start to the month of February that Rhode Island wanted. Some setbacks, some injuries, an 0-3 start. But that all changed on Wednesday night when the Rams rolled to Amherst and took care of business, dominating the entire game, not trailing, and everybody getting a piece of the pie on the scoreboard. But with one game left until their bye, it's going to be a different challenge today as the Davidson Wildcats come for town for the annual Play for K Wear Pink game here at the Ryan Center. The 8-6 in the A10 Rhode Island Rams taking on the 8-5 Davidson Wildcats. As we want to welcome you into the People's Credit Union pregame show, I'm Zach Austin. We're here inside the Thomas M. Ryan Center in Kingston, Rhode Island, and this is a big game here for both teams, and we'll get into it now. The game preview brought to you by Matunic Oyster Bar. Growing, harvesting, serving, farm the table, and pawn the plate. Matunic Oyster Bar Restaurant and Raw Bar is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week all year long, now accepting reservations at RhodyOysters.com. Well, let's talk a little bit more about that win against UMass last time out. Rhode Island swept the season series against the Minute Women 86-64. Again, all 9 players who entered the game scored. 5 were in double figures, led by, as always, it seems, Maya Torre, who put up 22 points and 11 rebounds for her third double-double of the season. Inez DeBraz had a career night as well, 14 points in her third career start, and tied her career high with 3 3-point makes. Sophie Phillips had 3 makes from deep as well for 15 points, and Teddy Magassa added another 11 off the bench. But maybe more importantly, as a team, Rhode Island, for the second straight game, shot over 50%. They were hovered just above 52%. They made nearly 40% of their threes. And for the 5th game in a row, they've made at least 2/3 of their free throws. And again, they did not trail in the game. But we'll look ahead to Davidson now. Again, they're 18-6 overall in the year. Rhody is 16-10. And Rhody's won the last 3 against this team, including a win on the road last year, 67-60, in which Rhody had 3 in double figures in that game as well. But this is a very different look Davidson team. They came out of the gates firing this year. They started the year 12-1. They finished the non-conference slate 10-1, and they had some quality games in that stretch. They defeated Wake Forest for the first time in several years. They almost defeated North Carolina on the road, who were ranked 16th at the time, and then right after that they did beat a very good team on the road in Duke, who was receiving votes at the time as well. But ever since then, the wheels have started to come off the bus in terms of injuries a little bit, and we'll get into that a bit later. So they've been a bit shorthanded, but despite all that, they're on a roll right now. They've won their last 4 games and 5 of their last 6, including a big one at home against George Mason back on Wednesday night, 75-67. And again, George Mason also a bit shorthanded in that game, but they were down big, the 22-13 in the first quarter, trailed by 10 at one point, and then a 21-4 burst in the second quarter. And then in the third, they continued it. They went 10 for 15 shooting in that third quarter, and they had their best shooting performance of the season as well, 56% overall, and from downtown they shot 62.5. Davidson is coming to play here today, and they're looking good despite all the adversity that they faced. They're in their 7th year under head coach Gail Fulks, who just hit her 50th Atlantic 10 win as head coach against George Mason last time out. A couple WPI appearances for Coach Fulks and the Wildcats since taking over in 2017. That's a game preview brought to you by Matunic Oyster Bar. We'll step aside on the People's Credit Union pregame show, and when we come back, we'll have a very large injury report for you. When we come back, you're listening to Rhode Island women's basketball from Learfield.